Good Tuesday morning to you. It is a lovely start of the day. I'm hanging out in the backyard today because I wanted to talk to you a little bit about something that's important to me, and that's urban farming. So people ask, what do you mean by urban farming? And what I mean by urban farming is a lot of urbanites, people who live in either the city or suburban areas, have very little connection to the food. They don't know where food is. Hi, Aisha. They don't know where their food is coming from. Some people who were raised only in an urban environment never had a chance to go out to a farm, to see how food was raised, to see how animals are cared for. So urban farming is important to me because I believe in being connected to the source of our food. So, and thus I have a business that's called Stark Family Farm that aims to connect people to their food. So I just wanted to show you our backyard. So yesterday I did a video that was the inside of our new house, and now I'm going to show you the outside of our new house. And mind you, this is a brand new construction, and there's a lot to be done here. So you can just see the dirt pile. So that right there, that's where we're going to put the chicken coop. That's a cherry tree. I've got to do a little work to try and save her. Sorry, you're going to get a little sun in just a second here. There we go. Okay, made that quick. That's another side of the house. And then that's the rest of the backyard. And you can see I'm in full sun. So we're going to do, in addition to the chickens, we're going to go right here. Cherry tree's going to move over just a little bit. So we're going to put a little grass back here. I know a lot of urban farming people do not like grass, but my husband likes grass, and I believe in compromise. So, but this right here is, you can see it's getting a lot of great morning sun, and that's right up against the house. So we're going to be doing some transformation of this area, putting up some raised bed planters. We've chosen to do raised bed planters in this area because the soil quality of this area is not great. This used to be Stapleton Airport, and there's some concerns about what might actually be in the soil because there was an airport here. So what we're going to do is just put in raised beds, bring in our own soil. And so that way we know what's going in the soil. And of course, we'll put a barrier between our soil and what's already existing. So that's just a little bit about what I do, connecting people to the source of their food. And just to give you a little more insight into that, I believe that the best way you can be connected to your own food is to grow your own food, because then you know what's in your food, what's in the soil, where do the seeds come from, how do you treat those plants and water those plants. And let me tell you, there's nothing better than going out to your backyard and picking a fresh strawberry or a fresh tomato or fresh greens. It's divine and so delightful to eat food that you grew. Fresh eggs, don't even get me started about how tasty fresh eggs are. So that's the best source. If you can get your food directly from your backyard, that's a great source. But obviously we can't all do that. We don't all have the means. I definitely don't have the space to raise a cow, and I like my beef. So then the next step is to getting connected to a farmer. So there's community supported agricultures. I was with CSA, which is a community supported agriculture farm where I knew the farmer. I actually went up and even volunteered on the farm. So I could see how they were growing the food, how they were, they did vegetables and what fruits they could grow on the eastern plains of Colorado. I could see how they were caring for the animals. So I had a really good connection to that farm and to that food and where the food was coming from. So if you don't want to do a CSA, because it is a bit of a financial commitment, then the next step is maybe to go to a farmer's market. And if you're at a farmer's market, chances are very good that you'll meet the farmer or the farmer's family, the representatives that come to the farmer's market, and you can buy your food from the farmer's market there. So that's kind of what I consider to be the tier. Of course, you can bring you can go to the grocery store and you can buy food, and that's what a lot of people do, is just go to the grocery stores and buy their foods there. But just an idea to get a little more connected to your food. Maybe look into some local sources of eggs, or local sources of whatever might be growing in your area, and see if you can come out and check out the farm and how they're growing things. And learn. And if you have kids, man, there's nothing like starting them young. And kids are so curious, and they love to know what's going on. So take your kids out there and see see how food gets grown, and teach them how food is grown and produced from the very start. So that's it. The one last thing, and I'm looking at my flowers, and that's what's making me think of this, are bees. And so our plan is to have the chicken coop, as I said, is going to be on one side of the garage. The raised planters are going to be on the other side. I don't quite know where we're going to put the beehive yet, but we are going to have a beehive. So bees are so essential to the growth of our food. We need bees to pollinate the plants that produce our food. And you probably have heard something about the bees are in danger, and we don't have the best environment for bees right now. So one thing you can do, just a very simple thing you can do, is you can do a little investigation of what chemicals can actually be harmful to bees. I know a lot of people use Roundup to kill weeds, and they think, oh, Roundup, all it's doing is affecting the weeds. Well, Roundup actually contains a chemical that's harmful to bees. So when you spray Roundup in your yard and around the area, you're actually impacting plants that the bees could come into contact with, and that ultimately kills the bees. So number one, try and stop using Roundup. And then two, there's an herbicide that's commonly used in commercially produced plants, that it's an herbicide, but again, it can impact bees. So do a little research and look at the plants that you're going to buy. If you're going to go out and you're going to buy some flowers or some plants, make sure that they haven't been treated with this herbicide that's harmful to bees. And last but not least, if you're able to, if you're interested in, keep bees. And if you're going to keep bees, you're obviously going to educate yourself on what do bees need and how do you protect the bees. And then you actually can start to teach your neighbors about how to take care of the bees and plant for the bees, and just make sure that we have the honeybees around to support our food. So there's a little of what I wanted to talk about today. So our little backyard, and look at that Colorado blue sky. That's just gorgeous, and my little flowers, and you can hear the construction already. We've got 1, 2, 3. Those houses are still being finished. Well, it's a total of 5 houses that are still being built. So this whole area is going to transform not only my backyard, but the area around me. So look forward to seeing what's going to happen. Watch along with me. My Facebook or my website is naturalstark.com if you want to come onto that and check it out and follow along and see what I do. So until then, have a wonderful Tuesday.